Manchester United are up to third place after beating Crystal Palace 2-1. Are they sneaking into this title race? Are they making us a title push in the last, 10 or so games? Nah, but genuinely, United, I think, with this win, have definitely put a stamp on that third place spot. Obviously, the move is to third place, but now I'm genuinely confident that they're going to finish third place. Period. Like they're gonna be the third place team in this league. I'm putting my stocks in United finishing third place. But that first half wasn't a good performance. Let's just call it what it is. The way Crystal Palace bossed the game in that first half, it was genuinely silent on Old Trafford. It was quiet. There was no cheering. There was no chants. There was nothing was happening in the first half, and such a dominating performance away from home in a first half at Old Trafford that, from the United perspective, is completely unacceptable. You cannot allow Crystal Palace to do that to you at your home ground. And look, I don't know what the reason is. I don't know, actually I know what the reason is. I think the biggest issue with United is that they don't have control over games, right? They don't have control. They have great attackers, decent defenders, but in the midfield is where they struggle the most in their games, right? When I watch them, they don't have authority on the ball. They don't have a dominance on the ball that you say some of the other top teams have, right? I think that really hurt them in the first half because you saw Wharton, Kamada, especially in the first half, was really on the ball, really dominating, picking passes, getting Sar through, getting the ball to Strand. He was holding it up well. He was giving Euro, actually the whole front line was giving Euro a terrible time. I think the goal that Lacroix scores is just an example of, sometimes I watch Euro and sometimes he looks good, right? Decent on the ball, makes some decent decisions, but for the most part, I haven't been, too impressed. Obviously, he's a young player, still a lot to improve on, but haven't been genuinely impressed. And look, people will say he's young, he can get better. Yes, but when you're playing for a club like Manchester United, there's no time to be, he's young, he can get better. They want to get back to the top. They want to get back to winning leagues, winning Champions Leagues, winning trophies again. So everybody has to play their part, basically. So the goal that Lacroix scores is just poor marking. I don't think he looks at Lacroix at any. I don't even know what the methodology of his defending was in that situation. Loses fly of the ball. Lacroix just so much space, so much separation off of a corner like that is kind of unacceptable, right? From a defensive standpoint. And it's a great header from Lacroix. It looked like it was in slow motion. The ball just floated into the far corner, 1-0 Crystal Palace. And at that point, you think, okay, United are gonna amp up the pressure. They're gonna press. They're gonna start generating chances. Bruno Fernandes is gonna get on the ball, pink the ball around Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko. It didn't really happen. It really didn't happen in that first half. And from the point that Crystal Palace scored to the end of the first half, I think Crystal Palace was the better team. I think they were the better team overall in that first half. The moment the game changed completely was that red card to Lacroix. And people might argue. I think the thing that hurts Lacroix here is he lets go of Cunha too late. If he lets go of Cunha, maybe outside of the box, it's a free kick. I think maybe the referee can be a little bit more lenient. By the letter of the law, it's a red card, right? They don't have a clear goal score opportunity. It's kind of a cut and dry decision, right? Great penalty from Bruno Fernandes, and from that point on, Manchester United just dominated the ball. They put their foot on the ball. They controlled the game. They, obviously Crystal Palace are not going to press the same. They're not going to be as active on the ball as they were. Then Adam Warren goes off, and then you kind of lose most of that control that you would have had in the midfield. And I think after that red card, everything changed. Before that red card, Crystal Palace was a better team. Like, I think you can be objectively admit that they were the better team in that first half. But after that red card, the game completely flipped on its head. And look, I've been calling Benjamin Sesko United's main man. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is the captain. He's the best player in the club. But Benjamin Sesko is the main man when it comes to taking this team to the Champions League. The struggles that they've had scoring goals last couple of seasons from their nines, the hold-up play, the link-up play that he brings to this team is been massive in the last couple of weeks, and is shown again today. The performance he gave today was a very, very... And look, in the first half, he didn't really have anything to feed off of. He didn't really have any scraps to, stick his foot at and anything like that. But in the second half, after the red card, more space opens up. Not more space, but Manchester United get more possession. You start to see a little bit more of his quality. You can just put a ball into the box, and he has better leaping ability than any other defender. So he's definitely going to challenge for those crosses. And with the guy like Bruno Fernandes creating the way he does, even in Buemo and Cunha today were decent, creating chances. You're going to get chances for Benjamin Sesko. And the header that he just wants it more. You just fight for it. All the games that United were starting, and they were starting with the false nine Cunha, you will never score those kind of goals with Cunha and Buemo playing that false nine position role. Only Sesko can give you that. And the way he's performed in the last maybe couple of weeks, you're starting to see his true quality. Like the guy that we saw at Leipzig, for those couple of years, you're starting to see a little bit of a glimpse of that. I don't know if it's been an injury or whatever it's been, but now you're starting to see a glimpse of that. 10 points behind Arsenal. It sounds outrageous. Yes. We never know what could happen, right? You never know what could happen. 2 draws and United are 6 points behind or whatever it is, right? So anything can happen from this point of the season. I'm not saying they're in the title race. Obviously, I'm saying it jokingly, but from where they were under Ruben Amorim to where they are now, this is a huge step forward. This is a huge step. Michael Carrick has literally got a tune out of these players. And it's not necessarily that I think they just play more confidently. They play more confidently. They feel more secure in their positions. You're playing people in positions where they understand roles that they can play in. Dalot is not playing as a wing back or a left wing back, or he's playing as a right back. He understands his role. He's not great going forward. He's decent defensively. He's a right back. Don't play him anywhere else but that position. Luke Shaw obviously goes out with the injury, but he can do a job at left wing back. But with his injury record, injury history, you don't want him in a position where he's running up and down the pitch too much, right? So he's better suited to playing left back. Dogu, for example, can play that left wing back role a little bit more. So players are playing in their positions where they feel the most secure in, right? You have Bruno Fernandes kind of in the midfield 3. Now you have a little bit more. Obviously, they're not controlling games in the midfield still, but you have a little bit more safety in the midfield, right? Obviously, when you were playing but Fernandes and Casemiro in the midfield too, you couldn't get the same skill sets out of Fernandes. You need him closer to the goal. But now you bring in Menu, who generally I wasn't impressed with him today, and I haven't been impressed with him recently, but you get more out of Fernandes because you have that extra midfielder behind him. So everything's just changed with Carrick, and they just look a lot better as a team. They look a lot more fluid, they look a lot more in control of the things that they're doing, and they look a lot more confident, right? Obviously, Ahmad goes up to the bench. Somebody has to go to the bench, right? I was always saying Sesko needs to start. Cunha is probably the best fitted player for the left wing position. And then it depends on Mbuemo or Ahmad on the right wing. Who do you feel, is doing the better job in the game should play that position? And they looked a lot better in that second half. But then I still have to admit that without the red card, I don't know how United performed today. I don't know if they win, today. It wasn't convincing even with the red card. So that's something that Carrick will have to look at and think, okay, how can I get more control in games? How can I get more dominance in games from the start, right? You don't want to be giving teams too much possession, allowing them to boss the play. Even with the goal up, Crystal Palace was still bossing the play. So that's something that he has to address and look at and say, okay, what needs to change? What needs to improve in the midfield to get us controlling games more, to get us dominating possession more, to get us orchestrating more through the midfield? Because right now it's looking like a lot goes to Fernandes, who obviously yes is in the midfield, but I'm talking about the midfield too behind him. A lot goes to Fernandes, Cunha, the front four basically. A lot goes to them. You bypass the midfield in terms of creativity a lot. So that's the biggest criticism, the harshest criticism I have of this United team. I think they can improve in that department. Obviously in the summer they will look to improve. Casemiro is leaving it after the summer, so they will look to improve in that position, in that area of the pitch. And I think you'll see their game go to another level. You see them improve tremendously after the World Cup, after the summer obviously happens. So great from Sesko. Sesko again winning Manchester United a match. Whether it's him salvaging a draw, whether it's him winning the match for them, like he is a nailed-on starter to the end of the season. Unless he picks up an injury, hopefully not. He's a nailed-on starter for the rest of the season. He has to play every game, because you play one game a week, you can afford to play him every single game, at least 60, 70 minutes. He can play those minutes. He needs to play because he gives them a completely different dimension in their attack. Even if things are not working out, you can just lump a ball over the top. He's in behind. You can just cross the ball in. He'll win the header. He'll knock it down to Cunha. He's also an intelligent player, a very, very intelligent player, right? Not just, I'm physical, I'm fast, I'm strong, I can head, I can shoot. He also knows how to link the play up. He knows how to drop in, quick one-touch pass, spin off, running behind, knockdowns. He has the tool set, right? So they need to play to his strengths moving forward. I think that's the kind of guy that you kind of hang your hat on and you say, okay, Bruno Fernandes, look for Sesko more than anybody else. He's the main guy when it comes to goal scoring at this football club. So great performance from Sesko again. I think Bruno Fernandes was also very, very good. A lot of cute passes, a lot of intricate passes that he played today. Obviously gets his goal with the penalty. Very, very good performance from him. So United, this is just a good moment that they're in. They're in great form. I think they're probably the most informed team since Carrick came in the Premier League. So they're looking like a completely different team. Obviously now third place. I'm putting my money on them probably to finish. Definitely to finish in the top four, I think, because you look at what Chelsea's playing later today, playing Arsenal away, 6-point gap already. It's going to be difficult for Chelsea to make up the ground on United, especially with the game that they have coming up. I think they have the toughest schedule out of those, out of United, Liverpool, Chelsea. They have the toughest schedule. So United, this is a great moment for them. Starting the month of March strong. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very, very soon. Peace out.